looking for a pad that's out of sight. Found the team that's got my back for real. The Jonathan Cook team, that's the deal. They rock the keys and seal the fate, helping you navigate real estate. With every call, they know it's true. They got the perfect home for you. The Jonathan Cook team makes it easy. Buying and selling is just so breezy. From the first step, they clear the way. Your dream home's just a call away. They've got the tools and they know the score. Hustling hard, giving more and more and more. Find that backyard or skyline view. They make it happen for you. The Jonathan Cook team makes it easy. Buying and selling is just so breezy. They hustle hard with style and grace, leading you to your perfect space. No matter the steps or what you plan, they're holding the map right in their hands. The Jonathan Cook team makes it easy. Buying and selling is just so breezy. From the first step, they clear the way. Your dream home's just one call away. If you wanted to see how easy all this could be, we're just one call away. If you wanted to see how easy all this could be, we're just one call away.
You're listening to another episode of The Infinite Agent.
Let's go, dude. Welcome back, guys. We got Greg Potts, we got Brooks, we got Jason, we got Taylor. How's everybody doing today?
Excellent.
Doing
Man.
great.
Golly.
Awesome.
Greg, you look so good in a suit, and I don't always get to see me in a suit. I don't always get to see you guys in a suit, but man, y'all look good today. It's going to be fun.
Thank you.
So we got a couple things to talk about. We just got back from, like we told you last week, if you guys consumed the podcast, that we were going to San Diego to the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals Conference, which is NAREP. That is, we're going to probably say NAREP a few times on this podcast today. I want you guys to know what it stands for. But before we start, I want you guys to know why we were there, because I'm not Hispanic. Brooks isn't. Are you Hispanic?
I am not.
Greg, are you Hispanic?
No, but I identify as Hispanic.
Okay, so you can be what you want to be. Are you a Fox? Or are you Hispanic?
Donde está la casa de Pepe?
Okay, fantastic. So our company, our brokerage that we are a part of, Mark Demas and Eddie Garcia, who are our president and CEO, they met, 10 years ago
Yes.
at the NAREP convention?
Yes.
And so when we're throwing our 1-year anniversary party, which is why we were there kind of celebrating the 1 year of...
When they announced it, they announced Realty of America there last year.
Oh, I forgot about that. So the big... was it a brokerage yet, or did they announce it's coming?
They announced it as a brokerage at that time.
Okay, so it kind of, wow, I didn't realize that. But it actually hit the 1 year mark because it was announced as a brokerage last year at the NAREP convention. Now, Jason, we said last week was going to stay back and make money. So before we get in, why don't you tell us how last week went for you?
Last week was amazing. Brooks Summer was not there to interrupt any of my calling and lead gen time, so I made lots and lots of money.
I think that was like a call out. I mean, you were freed up. You're kind of saying.
I was, yeah. I actually, I did so much business I can probably take off for the rest of the year.
So are you saying that Brooks is kind of a distraction?
I'm dead weight.
Well, if anybody that looks at Brooks, you can tell he's a distraction.
Shots fired.
So we're going to get into some cool stuff today. We're going to give away a 60-minute Swedish massage to Island Massage in Burleson, courtesy of Island Massage. So thanks for that. We also had a donation from Gina's Pizzeria in Burleson. They're going to give us two $25 gift cards to give away today. So we're going to give those to the people that win in the chat. So you get the most action in the chat today, and you have a chance to win. And we are just going to pick our favorite people from the chat today. We have a 60-minute Swedish massage and two $25 gift cards to give away. So y'all be active in the chat. And looks like Chamberlain's live on YouTube. She says, Brooks is a distraction, ? Wow.
Yeah, Chamberlain's my vote for the massage right now.
Yeah, she's winning. She's certainly winning the massage opportunity. Matter of fact, I'm giving that to her.
There
We
you
have a
go.
winner. First person in the chat wins.
All right.
Chamberlain just won a 60-minute Swedish massage to Island Massage. Great job, Chamberlain.
Ringer.
It pays to be on the
It
podcast
does, yes.
early. Yeah.
Ringer.
So, Greg, let's just dive right in because we were out there in San Diego. We learned a lot. I think we learned a lot about the industry as a whole. I think we learned a lot about the future of Realty of America kind of in the short term. But also, I was solidified in my choice more than ever. How did it go for you?
I mean, the same. Like the choice to come to Realty of America was pretty easy for me after meeting with you and Chad when y'all first brought me into this very podcast room. I knew within the first 15 minutes I wanted to be aligned with you guys, so I wasn't really focused so much on the Realty of America piece, other than the equity opportunity for Realty of America. When I heard that, I knew that was the clincher. But I knew after meeting you guys, being around godly men that are leaders in this industry, that was really what attracted me. But then now, after going to the conference and then after being around Eddie a couple of times and Mark a couple of times and learning the real opportunity for financial prosperity and wealth through being on the ground floor of Realty of America, I'm super stoked and super solidified with my decision.
Can you talk about, there's a couple of things there that I'd like to unpack. The first one is the equity piece. So somebody's listening right now, maybe they're an agent that's kind of plateaued and they're like, man, I keep hitting the same numbers, or maybe I'm even going to have a down year this year. I'm considering aligning with a company that maybe helps me grow because I've hit a wall. What is the equity piece for someone out there listening? What do you mean by equity?
So coming from Compass, by the way, fantastic company.
Great company.
Compass, just if you haven't heard the news, they just acquired Anywhere Realty. They're going to be growing to around 340,000 agents.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere Realty, they also, when they acquired them, they acquired a lot of debt because a lot of these older brokerages carry a lot of debt with their brick and mortar offices. And then the way they are handling business, a lot of the profits from the agents go to the owners and go to the owners of the franchises. So what we're seeing happen in this industry is the equity and rev share companies such as EXP, which kind of led the way, and then Real was second on the scene, and then LPT is rising as well, and now Realty of America being on the second floor. What we're seeing is these companies kind of taking over. I mean, EXP's 80,000 agents, Real's at 36,000 agents, LPT 15,000 agents. Realty of America, 1 year, 2,400 agents. So
Wow.
What I mean by equity and what got me excited is when I first joined, y'all shared with me that just my normal production, I'm going to make $1,500 shares of stock a year just on my normal production.
Well,
So-
you're already doing at Compass. You just do the same thing you're doing, and you're going to end up getting 1,500 shares at Realty of America. Now, were you getting stock at Compass before? Does Compass award stock?
Not by my production, no. And they are a publicly traded company.
Oh, interesting.
So no, I was not getting any type of stock options with Compass from my production.
Okay, let's go around the table real quick because this is a really good topic. I was at Keller Williams for 11 years and then moved to Realty of America. It's the only move I've ever made. So I'm coming to the table today. My kind of lens that I'm coming to the table with, my knowledge and my expertise is 11 years at Keller Williams. Went through some great years, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 and 22 were diabolical. I mean, made more clients happy in those 2 years than I've ever done in the previous 8. And then 2023 and 2024 were uphill years, for sure uphill. And then 2025 has been the best year of my career because I've aligned with people at a Realty of America. And for me, it's always about the relationships and profit second. And so I had some great relationships that I've made at Realty of America. So that's my lens. Let's go around the table and just share where all we've been. Brooks, where have you been in the business?
I started with Chad in 2012 with Keller Williams, and we left Keller Williams back in 2020. Went to EXP for a little while.
How long were y'all there?
We were with EXP almost 4 years.
Okay.
And so difference in EXP and Keller Williams is that EXP is a revenue share model. Keller Williams is a profit share model. So it's the difference in where you're collecting your compensation from the broker based upon the line on the P&L.
Yeah, this was funny last week. Somebody said the difference between rev share and profit share is very easily explained this way. Profit, you're going to let the owners go to their ranch, put diesel in their truck,
Right.
buy a golf cart, grab a four-wheeler and a rifle, and we can kind of have those as business expenses. Then whatever profits left over, we'll share in that. Now, I'm exaggerating a little bit to make it real simple to understand. Revenue share is, here's what came in. We're sharing in that.
Yeah,
off the
this
top.
is your cut. And then there were some limitations with Keller Williams just because it is a regional. So much like the old brokerages that Greg was talking about, they still have regional sections, and that's great for owners, but it's not good for your independent people who want to set up a brick and mortar outside of the brokerage. And so that was one of the limitations we had there. And really, whenever it came to it, just different opportunity at EXP. Even bigger opportunity at Realty of America, like Greg's saying right here. And so I'd see, based upon what Mark and Eddie have done, getting 7, 8 really top agents to come together to create a brokerage. So you get the best people on the team, you get them to teach the team how to operate, and then everybody grows with it. And I think that's the exciting part. 24 states, 2,400 agents, 18 states, $2.65 billion in sales, over 7,000 units. We have profit shared back in to the agents, $2.8 million, and then $1.8 million in the bank, instead of having debt that you're acquiring by expanding through acquisition.
Okay, so there we go. Keller Williams to EXP to ROA, and your experience.
So I started off in 2012 as well, and I was recruited into Keller Williams 2012. So I was out of the South Lake office.
Okay.
Was on a mega team. The Pyron team did really well. 2015, we sold 600 homes, and
Wow.
a lot of that was due to the builder business that we were helping Steve Ryder and Gary Killer launch, and it went really well. So then after leaving Keller Williams, I wasn't really getting a part of the profit share because my mega team agent, Spalding, who's an awesome guy, awesome family, but they were getting the majority of the profit share because they were the mega team agent, and I was basically, on the builder team. So I didn't really have the profit share opportunity there. But then I left and started my own brokerage in 2016 for 5 years. I did have a small rev share plan with my brokerage, and it did very well for my for my agents. They really liked that. So that was pretty cool. And then in 2021, I was at Compass. I sold to Compass in 21, and, I did get a lot of stock out of that merger. But of course, I had to take a swing on that because it was really hyped up IPO. And again, I love Compass, but we struck at $17. A lot of my company was in the payout of the company was in that stock for merging into them, and it went down to, I don't even know, $2-3 the week or two after, and stayed down there for 3 years. So finally got up to around $10 a share this last week, but then with the announcement of Anywhere, it kind of went back down. So then ROA. So yes.
Wow, that's
my
interesting.
experience.
It's interesting that we all have a little taste of Keller Williams. Great company. Learned so much there.
company.
It's kind of like getting your bachelor's degree, and not even to discount anything I learned or any of the people I met or the experiences I had at Keller Williams, because it's a fantastic company. Matter of fact, I suggested that my brother-in-law in Arkansas go there last week, and he joined Keller Williams Little Rock last week because we're not open with Realty of America in Arkansas. So here's what I will say. It's kind of like I got my bachelor's degree at Keller Williams, and I'm now getting my master's degree at Realty of America.
Yeah. It's known for being the best coaching and training company that there is for new agents.
Yeah.
But with what we're doing at Realty of America and what we've learned elsewhere, I think that Realty of America is going to take that title from them.
I see that as being a very predictable thing and not a lot of time from now. Like I think within the next 12 to 24 months. I mean, I agree with your prediction, and I also think that it's probably going to be in the next 12 to 24 months that this will be one of the best training platforms of all real estate companies worldwide. Jason, what's your experience?
So mine is going to be very similar to Brooks, as we're actually Siamese twins attached at the hip.
that.
We
Got
were
into
only
the
separated
business.
last weekend.
We had to get the umbilical cord under the table, which is really weird.
It's really odd.
Yeah.
So started off at Keller Williams at the end of 2012, first of 2013. We learned a lot at Keller Williams, and I will say from a rev share and profit share standpoint, and all the years that we spent at Keller Williams, I made nothing. Not a single penny at Keller Williams.
Me too.
We moved to EXP, and like Brooks said, we were there for 4 years, and immediately started making a small amount of money. Now, this is going to come from the angle of I've never focused on recruitment, attraction. That's never been my focus. I have been, blessed to have attracted several people that have come in just based on coincidence and my production. However, when we went to EXP, my rev share, I would probably get up to maybe $700 in a month on a given month.
Not bad.
Not bad. And again, my numbers are not going to be what someone else's are going to be.
Sure, no comparison.
But after moving to ROA and being here for just barely over 1 year, I have basically been at a point where I'm making between $1,500 and $2,500 a month passively.
Unbelievable.
So for someone,
And what are you making that off of? For someone that has no clue, how do you? What is that? Where's that money
So
come
basically,
What's that money called?
That's called profit share, or
Rev share.
Rev share. Sorry.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for correcting that.
No. I'm trying to clear this up in my own head to make sure that I'm following you, because each one of us, although we're all for at Realty of America, each one of us has a different way that we are, seeing the opportunity be big for us. So the big opportunity for you right now is $1,500 to $2,500 a month in rev share, where you never got that number ever at profit share at a previous company.
Never even got close to previous companies. And it's really based on I have attracted a very small handful of people. I believe there's 6 in my front line, and I've got 2 in my second line.
That's excellent.
And because of the pouring into them and their success, it's translated into actual dollars for me.
Okay, so let's go to the chat real quick, because we have a lot of people that I missed. I haven't been watching the chat. I got a little distracted. So we'll scroll to the top of the chat real quick, and we'll see. This is so interesting because Chamberlain says, wow, in all caps, because she is our winner of our first prize. We're giving away 2 more on the show today. You could win a $25 gift certificate to Gina's Pizzeria, or a $25 gift certificate to Gina's Pizzeria. So there you go. We got 2 to give away. Chamberlain says, thanks, guys. You're so welcome. The Greg Potts team says, is Greg your first 2X guest star triple question mark? In parentheses, open parentheses, they're just there to test the water, period. If the fans like them, comma, they might stay, period. If not, comma, they'll be unceremoniously killed off, comma, leaving the main cast to wonder. If it was something he said, triple question mark. I have no idea. Okay, thank you guys for that.
That was not me, by the way.
Who is behind? Who's behind the keyboard? If it's a movie reference, Jonathan will never get it because I don't watch movies. I fall asleep about 8 minutes in, unfortunately.
Rudy.
Are you asking a question?
So I would like to.
Brooks Bell's watching live.
Question.
He says ROA not open in Arkansas. ... yet! Exclamation point. What up, Brooks? Okay, did I watch Rudy?
Yeah, I haven't seen Brian Certain on here yet today, but unless he's behind the Greg Potts team,
He's got to be.
That might be Brian there.
Yeah. So the big question of the day is, did Jonathan actually watch Rudy?
All right, and so there you go. You heard it here first, folks. I tried to look for it on our American Airlines flight. We were on Frontier coming back, just diabolical problems at the DFW airport. They cut, somehow
Always
they cut.
an adventure.
Oh my gosh, Taylor, what did they cut? 2 cables to.
The power was lost
they
at
just-
air traffic control.
They had a bad day.
They had a bad day, so we were supposed to. Matter
They
of
might
fact,
be looking for a job.
yeah, they might. We were sharing a hotel with Greg and Brooks was in there, and they're like, "Weren't y'all supposed to be at the airport like hours ago?" And we're like, "No, it's been delayed a 7th time." So we didn't get home till 3 a.m. Unfortunately, which happened the last time Chad Smith and I flew out there. So it was great though. My American Airlines flight there, Rudy was not on the playlist. Frontier coming back was not on the playlist. So when I got home, I pulled up the trailer because we're going to have a movie night with my kids. And we opened the trailer, and my 2 sons were like, yes, Dad, this is awesome. My daughter's like, no, we're not watching this. So my 4-year-old daughter won. I have not seen Rudy yet. However, I have seen the trailer, and I will watch Rudy, and I will honor my promise to Brian Certain. Thank you. That's the end of that story. All right, so let's get right in, because a couple things that Brooks mentioned are really big things. The stats for Realty of America, like I don't know how long EXP has been a company. Do y'all know? They're at 82,740 agents, and I don't know how long they've been a company, but we'll find that out. If you know that in the chat, drop that in the chat. If not, one of us will look it up to see how long EXP has been a company. But 82,000 agents. Real Broker, which is one of the other cloud-based brokerages. But by the way, there's 74 cloud-based brokerages. Like, you're either going to choose a franchise model like Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Remax, Keller, or you're going to choose a cloud-based model. Which one is more for the future and of the future or advanced? I mean, it's just factual. It's the cloud-based model.
Yeah,
why cloud-based?
You could argue that the franchise model is actually dead. There's no opportunity for the average agent to succeed. As Brooks mentioned earlier, your ownership, like with certain brokerages, they own certain regions of a state or maybe an entire state, and you physically cannot go open up an office. So the ownership opportunities are restricted, and agents only have the ability to grow into the agent role. Whereas the cloud-based broker, everybody's got an equity share in the company. Everybody's part owner.
Yeah, so here's my story. I came from Burleson, Texas, 13 years in BISD. I had a building that I purchased in Burleson when I first became a realtor. And Dennis Tuttle, one of my best friends, is the one that attracted me to Keller Williams Arlington. So when I was in the band, he was always saying, hey, if you ever want an exit plan from the road, you don't want to be in the tour bus anymore, let me know, and you would be a great agent. Have you ever considered a career in real estate? And I told Dennis, I made a promise when he and his wife came out to San Antonio to see our band Forever the Sickest Kids perform. I said, hey, I'm going to make a promise to you today. Hear my word. When I leave the music industry full time, I will join Keller Williams under you. So I did. I joined. I wanted to honor him. He was the team leader of Arlington. I lived in Burleson. I operated in Burleson, but I joined in Arlington. That posed a big problem for the franchise model. I bought a building in Burleson. Well, in the franchise model, Inga Dow, the owner of the region that my building I purchased in, which is Johnson County, she said, you've got to cease and desist. You got to sell your building, close your doors. You have 7 days to get out of our territory. And I'm like, I've been here 5 months. I've been operating this building. We're set up. We got TVs. We got desks. Why do I have to leave Burleson? And she wrote a letter back and said, because I own this territory. Get out.
Now, the next part of this story, I think, is maybe the most amazing thing I've ever heard. What you did next, which is amazing.
Well, I had a certain budget because that building was small. It was 1,100 square foot, and I was like, well, this will sell for X amount of dollars. I kind of knew, luckily this building had some equity in it. So here's what I have to spend. And I knew that I had to get out of Johnson County. That was her one rule. And so I started looking at the next county closest, which is Tarrant, and I called every broker that I knew. I just started dialing commercial agents. Do you have a listing? Do you know of a building? The second call I made was to the late Jerry Bullard with Century 21 Crowley. I said, hey, Jerry, I'm desperate, man. I'm being kicked out of this territory, franchise model. I got to leave Johnson County. Matter of fact, I have 7 days to get out of my building and find a new one. He said, you're not going to believe this. I'm sitting across from a seller right now in my office. He's sitting here at the table. I'm just going to put you two in touch. He has a building on Main Street in Crowley. It's fully vacant. It's old, vacant. He's been trying to lease offices in it. There's one of the 22 offices in here leased. Everything else is vacant. If you want to talk to him, just pay me a finder's fee of $500 if y'all work something out. So I called him. We came over here. I was like, unbelievable. I thought I was going to have to go to areas where there's bars on the windows, to afford what I needed in Tarrant County. But the Lord knew. Not only did this building work out, but this building also was bigger than what I needed because my eyes weren't lifted to a high enough level. Now we occupy the entire thing. And the Lord did this because I owner financed it with 10% down that day at a 4% interest rate, which is amazing. The building, praise God, is now paid off. But here's the thing. God knew, and he ordered my steps early. But the franchise model kicked me out of that territory. Now, if I want to move back to Burleson, I can. There's nobody in the cloud-based brokerage that's going to tell me, get out of my territory.
And that's a big thing, too. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this used to be Century 21, right?
It
was.
A
long time ago?
Yeah,
okay.
This was Century 21's office in Crowley for years and years and years. And then right after I purchased this, Jerry Bullard that helped me buy it, he passed away of a heart attack in his lazy boy in his living room, which, we hope we can all go somewhat peacefully like that. But, man, what a great guy. He's kind of the Crowley legend of real estate, which I'm not going to claim that title for our team, but our team is the only address in Crowley of a real estate office. And when I bought it, it was the armpit of the Metroplex. People, oh, you don't want Crowley ISD. Well, we happen to be Crowley ISD's broker now. We've helped them buy land for high schools, sell land that they don't need for middle schools. I mean, it's been a great partnership. And then 2 years after we bought it, all of Main Street redevelops down here. It's gentrified. We put murals on the building. It's so cool down here. But I just never have to worry about being kicked out of this building.
No, because ROA is not going to kick you out. A cloud-based brokerage is not going to kick you out. But those franchise models, as you said, not only were they afraid of you being in their town, but it was a greed thing.
Wow.
If you want to be there, you've got to be in my organization so that I'm making money off of you.
I need a cut of everything happens in this territory because I bought. You know, the other thing, this is called the Infinite Agent Podcast. It's because you can have an infinite business and service multiple counties and have headquarters for your team in multiple counties. I mean, there's infinite. Now, it was finite in the old model. The franchise model was finite. It was this county only.
It was great for the people who got in early.
Wonderful for people who got in early. And it worked for years. The franchise model, you know, my mom worked at Coldwell Banker years and years ago, never was real estate licensed, but she was the receptionist. And all the years in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s, franchise model was great. Come check out a key on our wooden hook in our office and come show our listing and then bring the key back. You know, that's just not how it works anymore. So we are a part of a cloud-based brokerage because we're a part of what we see to be the evolution of the future.
And there were lots of great announcements that happened at NAREP, and not only just the celebration of the 1-year anniversary, but also the fact that we're now the first brokerage to have a relationship with Follow Up Boss.
Oh, my gosh.
That's huge.
That blew my mind. Greg, right before I got to San Diego, we had a team huddle the day before. I said, guys, looking at the bottom line, we're just not going to continue keeping this tech around that we're not going to use. So I brought all the tech to the team, and I said, here's what we pay for. Here's what we use. It was a day before that we had looked at all these numbers, and I said, man, it's 500 here, it's 500 there, it's 2,500 there. I said, do we need to cut this, and this? I mean, does Follow Up Boss stay? Does Boomtown stay? Whenever we got to San Diego and Mark and Eddie dropped the bomb that Follow Up Boss is now free for all Realty of America agents, I called home and I was like, hey, we just got a $6,000 raise per agent on our team for a year. So that was massive.
It is, and it's just the start of things to come because there's now Realty of America has a relationship with Open Door. Realty of America has a relationship with all of these different companies that are strategic because we are going to be the #1 brokerage in the United States.
Okay, so let's talk about this. And I want to get to Greg, the breakout session that you and Brooks got to be a part of in San Diego, because there's some big stuff in there. So founded in 2009 was EXP. They're now at 82,000 agents. But how long ago was 09? Man, that was 5 years before I got in the business. So we're talking about 16 years. Am I doing the math right?
Yes.
To get to 82,000 agents. And it's a great company as well. It just shows how quickly Realty of America has come on the scene. To hit 2,400 agents in a year, that took these other companies 4 to 6 years to even get to 1,000 agents, and we're at 2,400 in just a year. What other stats do we have on our growth that are pretty impressive? We have 700 agents in Texas. We're open in 18 states in 1 year's time. We're about to go to our first international outside of the continental U.S. announcement.
It's going to be huge.
I think that this is big, what you said, the 1.8. What's the cash in the bank?
Yeah, cash in the bank is $1.8 million. And especially as it's been a more difficult market in general with the higher interest rates, that is a big number.
Yeah, not only did we hit over 2,000 agents in less than a year, we've been in the black every month since we opened.
Okay.
At no point has Realty of America been in the negative.
Yeah, so the assumption of $2.6 billion net of cash in debt is significant. That is, Compass is not buying just a few brands. It's absorbing one of the major brokerage franchise networks with all its associated services: title, escrow, relocation, and liabilities. Do you know what that one is?
Yes. I mean, yesterday, or when they announced this a couple of days ago now, I immediately looked at my stock because I still have Compass stock, and it went from around 9.65 a share to about 7. It went down dramatically because of the debt that they pretty much incurred with that, and that made the investors a little uneasy. So,
Did you know that this deal is an all stock transaction?
yep.
It couldn't be a cash transaction because there's real no intrinsic value. There's more debt than there is.
That's
What are
the
you buying?
issue. Yeah, that's the issue because really what we're in a debt cycle and the debt is potentially not going to go away.
Yeah. What do you think the reasoning was behind this Compass acquisition?
It was for them to position themselves as the largest residential real estate brokerage in the world. This effectively gives them 340,000 agents.
What were they before the acquisition?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm thinking around 50.
Oh, okay.
I
So it's
believe.
a major.
I could be wrong on that, but that sounds right to me. Brooks might look that up.
Well, they acquired actually several companies in this merger.
Well, Anywhere is the umbrella for ERA, Century 21,
Cochrane Realty,
right. There's some
Better
big,
Homes and Gardens,
big players in
Coldwell
there.
Banker.
So they're trying to set up their own ecosystem. They want to be their own ecosystem. They want to compete with Zillow and the MLS. They want to be able to have their agents be able to do everything within their ecosystem. I think that's their goal.
Okay.
And it's an admirable goal to make one move like this and become the largest. But it's the largest of the brokerages that you're going to have one brokerage, Compass, now, and all these other ones that are around. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Are they going to? The thing that I'm wondering is, are they going to start adopting and transitioning to the more equity rev share models because they're so successful right now?
Yes.
I mean, if you look at all of the LPT and Realty of America, and all of them are growing and they're debt free, and I mean, it's the way to go, and everyone kind of knows it. They've been stiff arming it for years now, but now the writing's kind of on the wall that the older brick and mortar style offices are kind of just dying out.
And whenever I think of Compass, I also think of kind of like a boutique brand.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like what we saw when Berkshire Hathaway came into our area.
Right.
It's something that it's hard to explain. It's like panache, right?
It is.
It's something that is ascribed to based upon like elite. And that was another thing that Realty of America announced was Realty of America, the collection. So
What's that?
So that's going to be the $1 million plus luxury market that Realty of America. It's going to be led by Serafini.
Yep.
Andre Serafini.
Oh, cool.
Out of the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Yeah.
And so a lot of really exciting things that are happening in there. And what we tend to see whenever there's a merger and acquisition with a lot of companies, especially in a time whenever the market is down for their area, is that a lot of this is about consolidation of debt, working to restructure in order to have basically economy of scale to be at their side and to their benefit so that they can negotiate down some of this other debt that they have to reposition to get out of the market.
Yeah, you think about Compass being the luxury brand, and I love it. I mean, I respect the move. I just want to see companies make moves. I want to see companies evolve. You know, they say evolve or die. I mean, I'm glad that Compass is doing this. I got great friends at Compass. Shout out to those people who are watching today: John Zimmerman, Ted Olson, a lot of great agents over there. Kelly Ray, Adisha. I got a lot of great friends at Compass, and I'm pulling for this to be a good move for Compass.
I am as well, and I just want to add in that Compass is not a brick and mortar. When I say brick and mortar companies are dying, those would be the franchise style, like Weichert's and things like that nature. But Compass does have market centers, 2 of them in Dallas-Fort, or 3 of them in Dallas-Fort Worth. So nothing against Compass. I do respect the power move of Compass. But getting back to what you'd asked me about what me and Brooks had learned.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dive in on this part.
Yes. So
Y'all were in a room that I didn't get to be in San Diego.
we were on the 32nd floor at the Grand Hyatt Manchester. It was beautiful. We got to see the battleships and the aircraft carriers from 32nd floor, and the weather was amazing, and me and Brooks were having a great time. But we got to hear not only Eddie and Mark kind of reshare the future and the vision, and also talk about the window of time of being on the ground floor of a company like Realty of America, which is like EXP and like Real and like LPT, to be on the ground floor of these companies, when you are early in, you will have an opportunity of time to get as much we're agent owned. All these companies that I just mentioned are agent owned. There's not one person at the top that is taking all of the stock and all of the equity. They're divvying it out to everybody. And so they really had a panel of how we could share the message of Realty of America.
Because timing matters on this stuff.
Timing matters. It's huge right now, because what people don't understand is how these companies are designed. They don't understand that the people who come in at the beginning get the most shares of stock, and the people at the beginning on the first and second floor are going to be the ones that are like the ones on the 80th floor now with EXP that are making $200,000, $100,000 a month in revenue share, and that's not even including their equity. That's just their revenue share from the people that they've attracted. I mean, you think, man, everyone disses EXP for all of their recruiting efforts, but man, I mean, these guys are making, the ones that were good at it are making hundreds of $1,000s a month. I was talking to Colton Lindsay. I was trying to attract him over to, I don't know a lot of people know who Colton Lindsay is. He's a influencer, a real estate influencer, really, really good. If you haven't watched Colton Lindsay. And he got on the ground floor with Real, and I didn't know that. I was just out there excited about Realty of America and telling him about Realty of America. And he said, "Man, I was on the ground floor of Real, and I've got 4,500 people in my organization. I make $110,000 a month. I'm already here. I'm already set." He goes, "But I'm excited for you guys." Like Robert Cedino, he goes, "If I did come to Realty of America, I'd go with Robert Cedino." I was like, "Great, awesome." So there's just such. So in that meeting, they recast the vision of this short amount of time we have to really attract as many people as we can, share the message to as many people as we can, to get them in the same opportunity that we have to do this. And you don't even have to attract, just do your normal production, because a lot of the people I'm talking to do well over 200,000 commissions a year. And all you got to do is hit that 200,000 mark to get 1,500 shares. So by the time we strike, guys, and I wanted to mention with Compass, I set that up for Compass because I said it was a swing and a miss on the stock, but that's because Compass was set up as a tech company, not a real estate company.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of confusion around
Keller
what
Williams
they
tried to
really
do that.
were. So what happened was their stock went down to $2 or $3 a share and stayed down there until they could prove themselves to be an actual real estate company, not just a tech company. So now it's starting to rise again. But with Realty of America and with a lot of these other companies that we're seeing, that they're debt free. Like we have $1.8 million in the bank in 1 year.
Nobody
right?
nobody to answer to either.
And by the time we get to the 10th floor, 10,000 agents and our IPO strikes, we're talking, I ran the numbers and I put everything of where our current growth trajectory is, ran the numbers through ChatGPT and said, if we get to 10,000 agents and we stay on the same growth trajectory, and this happens in 3 years, it could happen in 2 years. But if we stay on the same trajectory of growth that we're on now, what would this price strike at? And it says anywhere from the $30 to $50 range. And that's where it strikes. And when you're a good company and you're reporting good numbers and you're debt free, that's where it strikes. Then it goes up. I mentioned on Facebook the other day, I've been a part of one other company and had this opportunity. I thought Compass was going to be that opportunity for me again, but I was part of LGI Homes. And LGI Homes, I knew it when I was a part of it. I was 3 years in prior to IPO. I knew the leadership was solid. I knew the vision was solid. Not only that, more importantly, I knew that the work ethic of the leadership was out of control. They worked and they always committed to their goals and they always hit their goals. For 3 years, I saw upper leadership, upper management hitting their goals and doing exactly what they say they're going to do. So when that IPO struck, I knew it. Now, I had to choose between residential real estate and new home sales prior to the IPO striking. Two of the guys that I brought with me, good friends of mine, are now millionaires with LGI from their stock. It struck around $20 a share. And because they were so solid and they were debt free and they had money in the bank, it got all the way up to $175 a share at some points.
Really?
And these guys were making equity because they were management. I would have been in that same position, but I missed the boat, and I don't regret it. I love residential real estate, and it's way better suited for me, and it's better.
You missed that boat.
I missed that boat. I don't regret it, but I'm super happy for my friends. But the point I'm trying to make is when I saw the equity opportunity and I heard all these stats, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, and God confirmed it because I was feeling uneasy about the other move I was thinking about making. Nothing wrong with that move. It was a great move, but this one gave me hope. This one got me excited This one gave me an opportunity to actually make money 3 different ways within real estate. And then now I'm learning from Chad and from Jonathan and Brooks and from Jason how to make more money through being an infinite agent, which is a whole nother subject, whole nother topic that's coming down the pipes.
You know, I would say that he missed that boat, but your other boat is coming. And when I met Eddie and Mark, and they had just announced the company a week prior, Chad Smith and I joined about a week apart. They said that we're going to go public in 3 years. That seemed like a long time back then. I was like, 3 years? Yeah. It's already been a year.
Yeah, it's blown
We're talking 24 months now from us going
I'm
public.
like, let's go 5 years. Let's wait. Let's get bigger, better, stronger, get more stock, get more. Yes.
Now, you said something that I think is really important. And for anybody watching right now, anybody listening, there's going to be a boat that sets sail, and some people are going to miss that boat. The 1,500 shares of stock that people have the opportunity to acquire each year by hitting their normal, yearly goals in real estate is going to go away.
Yeah, it diminishes.
Yeah. It
It's
will
like-
not be here forever.
It's like builder incentives. When the interest rates come down, the builder incentives go away. As the company grows, the RSUs for bringing people on, attracting people to the opportunity is diminishing.
And your production.
Your production reward is diminishing. And there's a key thing that Jonathan said that I think we have to, by owing no one money besides the agents that created this, we don't answer to some other business, a venture capitalist, and that is the way that has screwed up a lot of different companies. Private equity and venture capital being the really puppet masters for they had increasing different expenses.
Oh, yeah.
And since these are agents that have actually created a very successful business time and time again, Eddie has 7 businesses that have all been in the black. He has over 200 rentals that are owned, paid in cash. He does not believe in taking on bad debt. They didn't take on any debt. And so we're working to get towards we own 60% of our technology.
So let's go to the chat real quick, and then I want specifics on what was said in that room because, Alondra Lopez says she's watching in Burleson there, and Todd Plambeck said that he is, he said he got rid of Follow Up Boss right away. So, and then got it back now. So cool there. You think about a couple things. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, Todd. Good to see you on here. You think about a couple things, but when y'all were in that room in that mastermind, I just heard you say a couple things that blew my mind. One, there's been pressure for Eddie and Mark to sell early. They said, we're going to sell in 3 years, but there's already pressure. Please, please, please. And Eddie and Mark told me while I was in San Diego, they said, we're at the table with this executive. I'm not going to say any company's names, but if I said every company name, you would know who I'm talking about. This CEO, CEO of this company, EXP. I met the CEO of EXP while I was out there, and they're all asking Eddie and Mark, how did you do this? How are y'all having this success? How are y'all at 2,400 agents in just a year? How do you have millions in the bank? And you get to a point where you say, all right, everybody that is at the top of this company was founded on 8 teams getting together. There's been the reason it's scaling so big, the answer to that is because 8 humongous successful teams came together. One that was the number 1 agent in the country at the time, sold 3,200 homes in 1 month, over 770 homes in that month. Another one that sold 971 million with just 15 agents and sales on the team. 8 of those teams came together to form Realty of America. The foundation was razor sharp. That is why it's launching so quick. When you have 8 of the biggest real estate teams in the nation say, I'm in, and then you go meet with somebody below that, okay, I want to learn from him. Oh, yeah, him. And I got the opportunity to hop on the ROA bus while I was in San Diego and go to Chula Vista to Mac Zacker's office and Mo Perez's office, which is just 15 minutes away. And I got to see how they do it in 15,000 square feet with Taylor. And I mean, glass offices, the vibe, a colorful cow, paper mache cow piece of art in the center. I mean, just the vibe. They're now creating buildings that you want to be at. not market centers that you have to be at.
Maxwell calls it the law of the lid. And what this is that whenever you have a top producer, they're going to attract other top producers
Yes.
and pull everyone along. And that's the thing that I think we have to wrap our mind around is that you've got some of the best agents that have created the best follow-up systems, the best systems for their clients, and that's really what they're offering any agent that's out there. And I think that that's the key, is that that's what they stress to us. Ask another agent, how is your business? What is your business doing? What are the things that you need help with? What are the things that you're looking for? What are the things that I can help you with? And let's go ahead and see if we can mastermind and help you actually increase your business, increase your take home, help more people. And really, it's what we learn all the time. It's blessed to be a blessing, coming from abundance. High tide raises all ships. Let's work this together. And I can't tell you how many times when you talk to Eddie Garcia and you say, thank you for what you built, he says, for what we built, what we're building. When he challenged all of us here at your office, Jonathan, you're all business owners. The question is how much of the business, how much of ROA do you own? That's up to you. That's not up to Eddie.
Yeah, and he said something that really stuck with me there. Brooks, you said the law of the lid. It is so crazy that you can only go as high. This is a John Maxwell law that he explains. You can only go as high as the leader can go. And so when I was at Keller Williams, we kept being number one. Every month, we were number one, because the other agents had already left the company. That a lot of them had gone to cloud-based brokerages. And I'm like, I don't want to be somewhere where I'm number one. If you're the smartest person in the room, find a new room. If you're the most financially stable person in the room, find a new room. If you're the godliest person in the room, find a new room. I wanted to be pushed. And so I can only go with our team as high as the leader could go. And the leader at this company, Eddie Garcia and Mark Demas, have both done roughly $1 billion a year in real estate sales. Well, we're like an $85 million team. So to wrap my head around, there's already a playbook. There's someone doing it, not now, that hasn't done it and quit, and now they're just a salary employee. This is someone and teams that are running right now today that are doing it, sold $1 billion in a year, and I can take our team from an $85 million team to $1 billion team with their playbook. It's a law of the lid, baby.
And the follow-up relationship just shows that they're committed to helping their agents win.
Yeah, their playbook is wide open. You want to call the same play I called to have $1 billion year? Here's my playbook. What else did you hear in that mastermind?
Well, I heard again the work ethic and saw the work ethic, and really we had a panel. We had a panel of the top agents that are doing the best as sharing the message. So we got to mastermind with the top agents in Realty of America to kind of help figure out, hey, what is it that we need to do to offer this opportunity to as many of our friends that are in this industry as possible. And a lot of our friends, you know, we're all high producers. So a lot of the friends we're talking to are high producers.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, it's just about delivering the message, showing them the stats and showing them the opportunity. And that's it. It has nothing else to do with that. It's just go ahead and present the opportunity, plant the seed. And if it's right for them, great. If it's not, then it's not now, right? They might soon say, you know what, I do want to jump on board. I do want to be on the ground floor. I don't want to get to the 15th floor and then jump on board because I see, you know, how much they're making monthly in rev share and how much equity they have.
We keep talking about the floors of these companies, and Compass is now 25,000 agents right now.
Okay.
So they're
wrong.
No, it's okay. They're at 21,000, less than 21,000.
Wow.
They're at 20,965. And so they're going to go to 340,000 agents with this merger. So, of course, this merger made sense because they could acquire it for no cash. They could acquire it for just stock. And you think about ground floor. We're on floor 2 because we're at the 2,000 agent mark. When we hit, it's not going to be very long at all when we hit 3,000 agents. Then you'll be on floor 3, and you wish you would have joined on floor 2. But for joining, I got 400 RSUs, restricted stock units. Why are they restricted? Because we haven't hit NASDAQ yet. We will in 2 years. But just for joining, I got 400 shares. And then for capping, I got another 500 shares. Mm-hmm. And then when I hit 200,000 in GCI, I get another 1,000 shares. That's 1,900 shares. And then you get like 25 shares for your first deal each year. I mean, it's like 2,000 shares per year by just doing what I was doing at my previous company. And these shares 2 years from now could represent hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars if I time it right.
And just to paint a picture, about how these companies work. Right now, if you attract a new agent to ROA, to Realty of America, you get 400 shares. But that's because we're on the second floor. EXP's on the 80th floor. Guess how many shares you get if you attract an EXP agent today on the 80th floor?
I'm curious.
25.
Okay.
That's a big difference. But
It's a huge difference.
But the EXP on the first floor, I remember, I could be wrong. We can double check this. I think it was anywhere between 500 and 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and everyone at that the panel were individuals that had already attracted about 300 agents themselves. Maribel has 30% of Texas in her group. Let's see, it was Gabe Mendez.
Oh, man.
And then Jesse Garcia. And so they were giving us the tips of the way that they have attracted individuals, and everything comes back to the way that Eddie came and attracted us, belly to belly, investing in the other agent to find out the way you can help their business. And I think that that's the key to it.
I want to be with a company that's on the rise. I want to be at a company that is challenging me with the leaders that I am under. They're doing more and better than I am. I found it at Realty of America. What did you have any notes or ahas from that panel? I cannot imagine being in a room with Mary Bell, Gabe, and Jesse Garcia. What was some of your notes or your ahas from that?
You can go ahead while I
mastermind?
look mine up. I've got 2 pages of good notes. that
Yeah,
I took.
Greg took tons of notes. I was just sitting there taking it all in, working to pay attention. You know, it was interesting. Mark Demas just kind of went off the cuff, and Eddie had to rein him back in because he was really excited. I think that's what it was. Is there's this excitement about, you know, you said it earlier. Ambassador Milady would always say it. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody wants to be on the winning team.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can just feel the momentum. The big takeaway that I have is that now is the time. If someone's unhappy with their brokerage, if someone's unhappy with their business, if they're here locally and they're unhappy with their business, or they're across the nation, they need to be part of the real solution. And if they're not happy with what their brokerage is currently doing, they need to find out more about the Realty of America opportunity.
Yeah, Jason talked about the Zoom link last week. If you want to be on the Real Solution training that we're on every morning, because you're an Infinite Agent podcast consumer, we will give you the link. All you have to do is put it in the chat. I want the link, and we will send you the Zoom link to be on. Even tomorrow morning, which is at 8:30, we'll be on there. That is a community for anybody watching this who wants to train with us in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like saying, go to the gym with us. We're already going to the gym. Come with us.
And we saw Joy out there in California, and she gets on at 6:30 in the morning because there's a 2-hour difference for whenever we start the Tumbler.
And she's on almost every morning.
Every
On
morning.
California time. I didn't think about
California
that.
time,
So
yeah.
she's getting up in the 6 a.m. hour to train with us.
Yeah, because Charles Barrett was there, and he was talking about how it was a little bit of an opportunity for him to get up 2 hours early to be there for it. With everything he's got going on. So, I mean, a ton of heavy hitters that were there at NAREP that are part of Realty of America, and they're all willing to share their playbook.
I've probably made, and I'm all about relationships, so this is a big thing to me. I've probably made between 500 and 600 new friends that know me by name. I know them by name, and we have made some sort of memory together in this 12 months that I've been at Realty America. It is amazing. Maribel, Gabe, Robert Cedeno, Mark, and Eddie. Eddie stayed at my house. Eddie's videographers have stayed at my house twice. I just go down the list. You're going to be on America's Real Estate Show Friday. I was on America's Real Estate Show. When I flew out there, I had 80 people in the mastermind after the show, hugged all of them. It's just a community. Guys, if you are lacking community, if you feel lonely, if you feel stuck, if you don't know who to go to for training or mentorship or to ask a question, or if you feel out on an island, Realty of America has been one of the greatest communities I've ever joined, and I can thank 700 or 800 friendships from this company.
And Keller Williams was a great company to be a part of, though it cost Chad about $100,000 to travel around the world and pay each agent to get their book. And so about their playbook, like he was having to pay $100,000 for us to get that. Whereas here at Realty of America, they're just sharing it.
Let's go to this one. Greg, why don't you take that one? Michael Simmer says, the shares you receive, are they vested, or if you leave, the company takes them back? Question mark.
That's a great question that I don't know the answer to. Do you know, Brooks?
Not offhand. It's just one of those things that when you make the jump, we landed with ROA. It's kind of like where else will we go? Where else is there a bigger, greater opportunity?
So-
it's a good question, but
It's in the ICA.
Yeah.
So the share numbers are in the ICA. That didn't talk. I don't remember it talking about
What's ICA
vesting.
stand for?
The Independent Contractor Agreement.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say with EXP, there was a 3-year vesting period.
You're so close to us going to the NASDAQ. I mean, if you jumped in now in
Right.
22 in a 22-month period, we're going public where you can sell your stocks. Michael, I would advise you to come in 22 months from now will be vested. If you don't like it, which I cannot imagine, if it doesn't change your life, which I cannot imagine, sell your stock on NASDAQ and then move companies.
yes.
Is Michael
sure,
not
yeah.
with ROA? I thought he was.
He could be. He could be posing this for a friend. He could be, you never know.
Sure.
Alex Zapata says San Antonio, Texas, ROA. What up, Alex? And this
Alex.
is cool. San Antonio is one of my favorite cities in the state of Texas. And when I found out a month ago, our band has played there so much. It's like a second home to me. I found out we only had 4 agents there a month ago. I had a lunch with Eddie and Greg and Chad Smith, and Greg said, bet. Greg gets on the phone with a friend agent there that's at EXP. And now Danny and Amy Correa are at our company, and we got to party with them in San Diego 3 days ago. Fantastic organization, like 50 agents deep. And I'm like, dude, ROA San Antonio is about to be more than just 3 agents. And here we are. Alex is San Antonio. Danny and Amy are San Antonio. I'm believing that San Antonio, Texas is going to be a ROA story over the next 12 months.
100%.
Oh, Michael's at Fathom. Okay, cool. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Awesome, Michael.
Fathom the thought of moving to ROA.
Fathom the thought of moving to ROA. Great one. Taylor Perky says, great episode so far, exclamation point. So we got 0 minutes left. So we're in our final 60 seconds. Everybody, let's wrap up kind of the conversation and the message that you want to deliver today in your own way. We'll start with Greg.
I mean, it's been a good podcast. It's been a really interesting conversation. And if you would have told me I'd be having this conversation a year ago, I would have told you you're crazy.
Because you were happy?
I wasn't happy. I was totally miserable. Not with the company I was with, but I was totally miserable with not growing. I did not have a playbook to grow past
Same.
where I was. And I just did not have that until I met you and Chad and now ROA. So that's my final thoughts.
That's awesome. I'm going to give my final thought and then Brooks and Jason, because mine piggybacks off this. I was at a place where COVID had destroyed community. It took a direct missile shot at community. And the enemy uses 3 major weapons. One of them's dividing us. One of them's distracting us. And one of them is giving death to our dreams, saying you're too fat, too short, too old, too outdated, no longer relevant. All 3 of those are lies from the enemy. But when COVID divided us, you have to be now so laser focused to find community now, because a lot of those communities have not refound each other. And so at a time where I felt so lonely, I was miserable myself, I was going through a divorce, and I was lonely. The call came from Chad Smith, and I'm so glad it did. Will you come meet these 2 guys with me and see what they're all about? We went to lunch in South Lake with Eddie and Mark. They bought us some of the most diabolical sushi I've ever had in my life. No telling what they spent that day. And it wasn't really to wine and dine us. It's just the conversation kept going. It went for 3 hours, I think. So we just kept buying more sushi and more calamari.
Yum.
And what I learned at that table is there was a place that was better and there was more community. I'm so glad I found it because my life has changed.
Awesome. So my takeaway is if you're in real estate and you're watching this and you're not in a room that's constantly calling you up to a higher level, if you're not surrounded by people that have achieved what you want to achieve, if you're not surrounded by people that are giving you the playbook on how to hit your goals every day, every month, every year, you need a different room. If your brokerage is holding you back, if the team that you're on is holding you back, if there's anything standing in your way, there's a better way to do it.
I love that. Maybe you're not ready to even switch brokerages and you just want to train with us. That's totally okay. Maybe you don't want to train with us or switch brokerages. That's totally okay. Maybe you never want to see this podcast again. That's totally okay. But if you want the link to train with us in the morning, we will give you that Zoom link and you don't owe us a penny. Brooks?
Yeah, and I think probably one of the cool things we hadn't talked about yet is that they've designed a ROA Infinite PIN. And so once you have 23 agents in your first level, then you are considered an infinite ROA agent. And I think that's the big thing is that whenever it comes to what you're kicking into the brokerage, the 14K as an agent, there's a point where once you have shared the opportunity with enough people, it's covered. So actually, it costs you nothing, especially if you already have a big group of influence that you have right now. And so the only thing that should be holding you back from making this decision is nothing.
I agree. Yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree. And before we take off, I just want to give a shout out to Veronica Sanders. Veronica Sanders is going to be our newest addition to Realty of America.
Oh,
Had a
that's
great lunch
awesome.
with her, or coffee with her this morning, and it was just a huge blessing, just a huge, amazing meeting. There's a lot of agents out there that can use the real solution and can use community. And I was the same way. I needed community. I was on an island. I was isolated and I was not growing, and the real solution and ROA together are the perfect power combo.
You know, so that's a great question there, and I'll end with this one. What's one thing that you see as different at Realty of America than the other cloud-based brokerages? I can answer that one pretty quick. There is an infinite level that you make money off everybody in every level. It goes infinite number of levels. Even if somebody's in your 96th level, because your 7th level recruited 65 levels deep, you get revenue share off of every single person in your level, infinite levels deep. No other company does that. That is kind of cool. And so thank you guys so much for being here today. Thanks, Greg, for bringing that back from San Diego. Thanks for being our guest.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brooks, for the value that you bring every week. I love being on this with you guys. And thank you guys for tuning in. I hope somebody out there learned something today. And our goal is that 4 people change their life by something that they heard on this episode today. If you have any questions on anything you heard today, you can always reach out to us, and we are available for you guys. We hope this podcast is a blessing to you. That's our prayer every Wednesday before we go live. So with that being said, y'all guys make it a great Wednesday. We'll see you next Wednesday at 3:30 for another great episode of the Infinite Agent Podcast. See